So Proposition 200 may have targeted a problem that may not exist, but in the process, it created real barriers to voter registration, beginning with naturalized citizens like Sylvia Benitez.
The day when I went to do my oath, I registered to vote. It was the first thing I did. It was pretty simple. I submitted my application there, and then I didn't receive my voter registration pretty soon, so I had to fill another second application.
Like thousands of new citizens, Benitez followed the instructions in Box 20 of Arizona's voter registration form, which asked for the number on her naturalization certificate.
I used the number that is on my naturalization form.
But the state rejects forms from anyone who follows these instructions. That's because in order to verify that applicants are citizens, Arizona actually needs their alien number, a different number also on the naturalization certificate. Benitez reapplied, and in 2 months, she was successful. After a lawsuit, the state changed its misleading instructions, and forms now ask for the alien number. But voter registration groups say they've been told to use the old form until it runs out. Many naturalized citizens who were rejected never reapplied. It wasn't just immigrants who stumbled over the proof of citizenship requirement. Some longtime U.S. citizens are unable to meet Arizona's registration requirements.
These sorts of requirements, like the ones put in place by Proposition 200 in 2004, really ask citizens to show something that not all citizens can show.
I don't have the right to vote. I do have the right, and I'm going to do it.
97-year-old Shirley Price moved to Arizona to be with her son Joe, a retired World War II veteran. She voted for Franklin Delano Roosevelt in 1932 and every election since. She had no birth certificate or passport, the documents required for the Arizona ID and for voter registration.
My mom was born on August the 17th in 1910, and in 1910 in Clinton, Kentucky, there was no birth certificate.
Price's expired photo IDs from other states are of no use. Joe and his mother say Proposition 200 violates her constitutional rights.
I have a legal right.
What backs that up, Mom?
It's the Constitution of the United States.
But Republicans say Price's problems are a small price to pay.
Because one person won't be able to vote, we're going to open up the system so we have no trust or verification within our voting system whether or not it's accurate.
The Brennan Center says its studies show proof of citizenship requirements may block as many as 3% of eligible voters from registering. The Mexican American Legal Defense Fund says Arizona has rejected close to 40,000 voter registration applications since Proposition 200 went into effect in 2005. Dr. Rodolfo Espino is a political science professor at Arizona State University. His findings suggest Proposition 200 violates federal civil rights law.
It had created a more significant burden upon Hispanics than non-Hispanics.
A related study found voter registration is down 60% in Arizona and 80% among Latinos. Outreach groups say when they conduct registration drives in traditional places like shopping malls, voters often don't have their proof of citizenship handy.
So what you find is you get a lot of people who have the opportunity to engage with the process, who have a form in front of them, and yet don't have the documentation required to prove that they are citizens and to get registered. It puts a big cramp in the attempt of groups to try and get the citizens engaged.
But if other states pass laws similar to Arizona's, they're likely to pass muster with the courts. That's because in April, the Supreme Court upheld a strict voter ID law in Indiana's Marion County. A bill to require proof of citizenship in order to register narrowly failed in the battleground state of Missouri this past May, and as many as a dozen other states recently considered similar legislation. Poland says he's advised supporters in Georgia, Oklahoma, and Colorado.
It's almost like we're incubators in terms of what works and what doesn't work on this issue. So I think I've been very pleased with the way it's worked out nationally, and I expect you're right that this will become pretty much the standard for most states.
Do you know any specific states?
Red states, as opposed to blue states.
Right. Voter outreach groups say they plan to fight these measures when state legislatures meet again next year. For now, the battleground is Arizona. Reporting from Phoenix, Arizona, in collaboration with Stokely Baksh, I'm Renee Feltz for News 21.